put another stitch in this flag thinking about that blasted tax on tea. It's robbery. Every cup costs more silver than the sugar that sweetens it.
You're not alone in that anger.
The whole of the colony is upset. Wake up, Patriots! Wake up, Patriots!
If it was the full moon or what, but
Why was that?
Right, we had full moon last night, yeah.
Well, I saved $250.
Wow.
Because I get progressive lenses, you know. And
Yeah,
they,
but
You're not going to be a progressive now, are you?
no. Yeah.
El Giorgio, Jorge.
Wait a minute, the Halloween show isn't for another a few weeks yet.
No, this is my undercover outfit that Tom Holman sent me when I got the phone call yesterday.
Oh, all
I'm
right.
working undercover.
Something was up there.
I'm working undercover.
So you're going undercover, George. You're a G-man now, are you?
Yeah, this is...
Pablo, wait, hang on. You should change that four in a row to Pablo George or something.
So I never heard any of it. And so I went back, and then, what was it? Somebody wanted to see some of the show. I turned it on for them. I watched it on TV, and I hear these sound effects. And I'm thinking, now I get it, because a couple of times last week, I see Trixie like cracking up and smiling, and I'm thinking, nobody said anything funny. What's she doing that for? And then, so Trixie, I got a phone.
Hasn't done the insurrection act.
Rico.
Right?
Oh, hey,
Oh,
George, did you hear that? Oh, Rico, don't bring up your pool boy again.
We need the picture in there with George, the big ass rum bucket.
No, it's hot.
Yeah, but we got you with the picture of it, George. So technically, no one has to know it was Trixie's.
It's en route, but I will get on text. I can get on wireless on the airplane, and I'm allowed to text. I can't stream though.
you know, and the weird thing is you guys... What?
Wait, shut up a minute.
Oh,
woman.
what?
What? Shut up. You shut up.
Shut up 1 minute, woman.
You shut
Listen, Mark, I want to know how many people noticed that bomber on that desk. When he was at the city.
the terrorist did.
I spotted that right off the
Me
bat.
too, but I'm just saying, I want to know how people noticed that.
Yeah,
You got to put that picture up again.
Yeah, can you put that picture up again?
What picture?
The one with Trump.
President Trump in the Oval Office when he's got the bomber pointed right.
No, I don't have. I took it out of my feed thing over video.
Come on.
Guys, shut up. Jesus. Everybody.
Okay, everybody's just got to go after.
Happy Monday. I'm sure everybody's really happy today, too, seeing how it's Monday. I'm going to bring on George. Here's George. I don't know where Sean is yet. He's probably still in makeup.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to see you here. I've got a special hat. Then don't sit yet. This whole stuff ain't over.
Yeah.
You like this? I made that hat when Trump addressed the Democrats the first time, the first round of him when he was president. When he told everybody I was dressed up in white, when they all said that, stood up.
I remember that.
Well,
we got a lot of people.
A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happening.
A lot of people in the chat, too.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Tiogi, MK.
Yeah, there's TSM, Nut, Red, Stacy.
Yeah.
Stacy's always in there.
Hi, good morning, Stacy.
Billy isn't. It's just like Red. Brad isn't either. He's always at work.
She calls Billy Gummy.
Well, you call her Candy Girl, so.
Yeah, well, I figure she calls him Gummy. Hello, Gummy.
Yeah. Well, should we start out with
a song, you know?
What? Yeah, I know. I know we need to play that.
I gotta play a song. The one I wrote for Stacy. Hey, listen, if everybody wants to do it again, give a little couple of things to Tracy. I'll make up another song. Or maybe on the closing of the show and stuff like that. So got a lot of stuff happening.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Sean's computer took a poop?
What happened? Oh,
I said, do you think Sean's computer took a poop?
Possibility. You want me to text him?
No, if he's not going to be here, he'll text me. I haven't seen anything come through, though. So maybe he's just having trouble getting it loaded this morning. I got to watch what I say. I'm going to start out with a prayer. Lord, we surrender this new page, our hopes, dreams, and plans into your loving hands, asking you to align them with your perfect will. Remove what isn't for us and give us the courage to pursue what is. Send your Holy Spirit to be our light, guide, and strength. Fill us with your peace, empowering us to walk in love, joy, and purpose. Give us wisdom to discern your will, strength to do what's right, and patience for your timing. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Well,
Amen.
that kind of fit with everything that's going on over the weekend. It was a lot of exciting stuff.
Yes. And did you notice how the helicopters flew over the Statue of Liberty? Yeah, I wonder if anybody noticed that one. And the only one that can let that happen is the Presidente of the President of the United States.
Yeah, because of the air restrictions they have over monuments and stuff.
Monument, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought it was pretty cool.
Everything to be a little show thing to show you we are free, except, Mr. Mondani decided to make a statement how we went into Venezuela. Now, I was reading some stuff on Facebook because you know me on Facebook. I see people put comments up, and they said, well, there's some liberal thoughts on it, and they turn around and say, well, now China could go. Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry, I was out of makeup. I got a work phone call. Just 5 minutes I had to handle. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning. So I was talking about people complaining about how we went into another country to try to take it over and all that shit and everything else. And then people were saying about, now China's going to go to Taiwan. Let me tell you about China. China was in Venezuela Friday, the day before the hit, number one. And they couldn't get out because the airspace was shut down. That's number one. Number two, we could cripple China. So China's not going to go into Taiwan.
No, and China's a waiting game because by 2030 they're going to be collapsing anyways. So it's just a matter of waiting.
People come out with all these statements. I mean, and look how fast the best one is. Look how fast the protesters came out. That was the best.
Well, protesters were out protesters were out within hours all around the country, right? Like 5 or 6 places, all the same signs and everything else. So
pre-printed signs are us, within an hour.
Yeah, it's insane. But your comment about Taiwan, two totally different situations, and we're not going in to topple whatever. I mean, we went after a actual fugitive of justice to America. So that's number one.
We know that the can of worms will be opening up soon because of all the stuff that's happening. It's not only everybody says, it's about the oil and everything else. In the 70s, Venezuela didn't even have toilet paper. I went there with the companies to discover the oil for them and started pumping it out. And then when
Chavez
took over, he threw the companies out and they had shit oil because they didn't know how to do the refineries and stuff. So
our technology brought them riches.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way too. The executive orders that Trump did about trafficking and everything too, and asset seizures actually bolsters even his argument more for going in and reclaiming what Chavez stole from the American people too. So I think he's covered two ways that way. But I'd like to bring up this. Lou Dobbs hit on this a long time ago, and it goes right into what George was talking about the machines.
A firm owned by Venezuela could be allowed to take over one of this country's top voting machine firms. Venezuela, of course, led by Hugo Chavez, working to change the views of most South American countries, move to the left. Critics of the deal say our nation's very democracy is now for sale, without anyone doing a thing about it. Getty Pilgrim reports.
The use of some 19,000 electronic voting machines in the city of Chicago and Cook County primary on March 21st of this year is now under intense scrutiny. The U.S. company that makes the machines, Sequoia, was bought in 2005 by Smartmatic, a private company primarily owned by Venezuelan businessmen. When Chicago had problems with the machines, a dozen Venezuelan employees were there to help with the election. Chicago officials are outraged.
I think that American elections ought to be run by American companies and ought to be run by American citizens. not Venezuelan nationals.
Smartmatic is technically based in Boca Raton, Florida, but the president of the company, Jack Blaine, testified to the Chicago City Council. Fewer than a dozen Smartmatic employees work in Florida. The majority of the workers are based in Venezuela. Watchdog groups question why U.S. voting machines would be under the control of citizens of another country, especially a country whose own election process is highly suspect.
We believe this is a national security issue. There is no way that companies belonging to non-U.S. corporations should have access to our elections.
The Treasury Department is supposed to monitor sales of U.S. companies to overseas investors where there is a question of national security, such as in the Dubai ports deal, the so-called CFIUS review process. Some in Congress are demanding an investigation.
In the case of Smartmatic, there are a number of unanswered questions. That's why I wrote to the Secretary of the Treasury and asked them to review the ownership. It's offshore, it's murky, no one seems to know who owns it. Certainly our government should know.
A potential risk to the democratic process. Now, we called the Treasury Department to ask if the sale of Sequoia in 2005 had been reviewed or not. Treasury told us they were aware of the sale, but can't confirm if it's been reviewed or not. And some in Congress and voter watchdog groups also are demanding a better answer than that, Lou.
Well, this Treasury Department is filled with incompetence. They have stopped in over 1,500 reviews, only one sale to foreign owners' American assets. But a voting machine company, critical to this country's election count, and they can't tell you whether or not the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States...
I want to interrupt. I have to say something. Do you know who were complaining about the machines?
The Democrats.
That's right. And who was defending them? The fake news media. So
that's why I brought this clip up, because it goes right into what you were saying. You know, it's not just about the oil. Maduro has the receipts for everything. And who was in power in 2006? You know, and these people knew this shit. The Treasury knew all of this. Everything was flagged, questioned, but it got buried. And why did it get buried? Because of the uniparty. Both sides are benefiting.
What's a hot say? I can't see there, George.
It says, "Don't sit yet. You're like this." Let's go with the next video.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting how it all goes? It goes back that far, and they've known all this shit. So you can see our elections have been stolen at least since then.
But when it turned around to help the Democrats.
Yeah, that was 20 years old, that video, right? And you got to think, you know, you got to think of what we've been saying at least for the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, people forget.
We've really been,
anyway, let's rock and roll.
We've been screaming. Huh?
Yeah, we've been screaming.
No, but we've been screaming that for the last 10 years, all of us, right? At least. But that video is 20 years old. So just think of how many elections were stolen.
But it's funny how the Democrats took care of it right away, but the Republicans aren't. I mean, there's a bill on the Senate's desk called the Save Act, which is to protect about the voting right. The voting, you have to have certain identification. It's still sitting on Toon's desk since April 10th. Everybody thinks the voting is fine. It's not.
Yeah,
He's got it on his desk since April 10th. This is what the problem is. We don't have a party that is helping the American people. We have a party that helps themselves.
Called the Uniparty.
Yeah, Uniparty.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Republicans. They all deserve it.
Well, yeah, the Republicans too. I mean, don't ever give another penny to the GOP. Absolutely not.
There's a list out of who got paid back from Venezuela, all the senators and the congressmen. A majority of them are Democrats. We got the list. I didn't put it up because I want to make sure.
List of what?
Congressmen and senators that would undertake with Maduro.
It's funny. I saw that too. I saw somebody I know posted it, and usually the person who posts it doesn't post stuff that's garbage, right?
Yeah,
and he also said,
I want to check it out anyway.
And he also said that he he checked it all, but I want to see it come from somebody maybe that we that we trust. You know what I mean? Before
Like right out of the indictment or the arraignment today or something like that.
Yeah. So that's why I haven't really saying anything about either. I mean, I'm thinking because there is some Republicans on there too, as you saw.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Right?
There's 8 Republicans on there.
And there's a name that you always say.
Grassley's on there.
There's a name that you always say that's on there too, Mr. Thune.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, and him, McConnell, and Thune. That's why McConnell gave Thune $10 million for his campaign thing. And look what happened with Johnson. The money's getting refunded in his thing about getting reelected. That's why I'm glad Elon Musk is back, because he's going to dump money against the primaries.
Yeah, him and Trump had dinner.
Yeah, they had dinner together. Kissy, kissy. Don't forget. We think that's all the plan. Remember, we said that was all the plan. Remember, we brought that up a long, long time ago. All of us.
Yeah.
That we said it was all a setup. It's exactly to get the rhinos out, because who was complaining about everything else, and then look what happened. So now the Doge is really going to come out now, especially because he was getting close to that Minnesota thing, and that's why they stopped it. The Democrats started burning his cars and everything.
Absolutely. It was good to see them having dinner.
Yep. Oh, it's all planned. Everything was going on.
Well, let's go to this one.
The Michigan investigation team obtained forensic access to a DS-200 tabulator, the machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ESNS machines were used, the smart.
Now, that was it, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Now, did you see like the voting thing that on there? I'm going to get a clearer picture on that, but it showed that Trump was ahead.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it like changed. Now, the thing that was funny is they all came out and said it would when the plug wasn't hooked up to Wi-Fi, it wasn't hooked up, which they were full of shit because of that chip that was in there, which they can get into the machines. And they all knew this. They all knew this. I mean, I think it was great what happened with 2020 because of what's happening now and the turnaround about with the voting with President Trump and stuff. I think we're going to see a lot of action now after the first, with this stuff that's happening with the first year, because he said things were going to happen. So he did Maduro and stuff like that, and the shit that's happening with the people of Somalia and stuff like that. But the thing that's bothered me more than anything is that Johnson has not taken any steps to remove Omar from Congress or the Intelligence Committee. That's a big problem. Why is he not doing it? That's why he should not be in the position he is. And then you got people arguing, well, who are you going to pick at the Speaker of the House? You got to pick somebody to Speaker of the House with balls. What? Go ahead, Sean.
Is he compromised or is there no balls?
Well, definitely he's compromised.
I said he's either
you were breaking up.
One of the two. No balls or compromised. One of the two.
Well, it's both of them, because for the simple reason is, if you remember a long time ago when he came out and said, Ukraine's not getting another penny, blah, 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 all that shit and everything else. And then he had a meeting with Biden, the CIA, and the FBI, and all of a sudden he came out and agreed about the money because they had information on his family about his son and stuff.
Yeah.
You got
to
listen.
Tells me he's compromised.
Yeah, right. And Tim Brackett said he doesn't give a shit. He don't care what anything. I am not betraying this country, and that's what he did. They all did. All of them. It's true. Especially look the thing with Jeffries, that letter that came out about Jeffries. There's the thing that came out that Jeffries was gonna that came out with the names of everybody about with Jeffries about complaining was the leak.
Yeah, he was the leak, and they traced it. They know. We were talking about this, and I think it was a setup. I think that somebody wanted to make sure it went to Jeffries, and that they went ahead and knew that he would be the leaker, and it was the way to prove it was through that.
What did he leak?
The plan. He was trying to leak the plans for Maduro's pickup.
Oh,
that
so
they
he
were
knew
going
about
in.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But
They
they
said-
leaked it. But when the time they leaked it, Maduro had already been in custody. But they leaked it. So I don't think they knew he was still in custody yet. But I think that was a setup to catch somebody in his office. I really do.
Could be.
That's just my opinion. Because
Could be.
there was no reason to notify Jeffries ahead of time. So that's why I think that they, because it was a legal action, it wasn't a war act. So I think that was a setup to find the leak out of his office and prove that they can't, you can't trust the Democrats. But that's just me.
Well,
But
Trump said it in the press conference the other day, right? Pretty much. Right?
Yeah, maybe say something. Yeah, they all leak.
Yeah.
But
did you see the meme that was going around? Total arrest, Trump 1 and Bondi 0. Right?
Yeah.
So
here's Benny Johnson. I know George wanted me to play this one then to follow up.
It's all right.
Nicolas Maduro by the U.S. military signals doomsday for the globalist left. I just got off a phone call with a longtime friend of mine who, let's just say, is in clandestine diplomatic circles. And they laid it out clearly for me exactly what's at stake right now and why so many people are panicking about this arrest and the United States' actions against the narco-terrorist state of Venezuela. Venezuela doesn't really exist. Venezuela is a proxy for China, Iran, and Russia. And they use that proxy, which is not too far off the American coast, to wage statecraft level terrorism against the United States. And that comes in the form of chemical warfare, like with fentanyl, and in biological warfare, like with human beings, millions of them flooding across our borders, gangs, and other operations that they've run. Remember, Laken Riley was killed by a Venezuelan gang member, along with many other Americans. Millions of Americans have been killed by the chemicals inside of the drugs that Venezuela ships into our country. And so the end of that proxy battle, magnificently and stunningly through the evening, shuts down the capacity for our enemies to wage war against us in our hemisphere using that nation state. But it gets so much better. Listen to this. The individual who I spoke with, who has, let's just say, impeccable credentials on these things, has had dinner with Nicolas Maduro. This is an individual who's personally spoken with Nicolas Maduro and had conversations with him and his team. This is just what happens in high-level statecraft and diplomatic circles. And here's what he told me, that the arrest of Nicolas Maduro obviously is going to end all of those operations that we just talked about, but it's also going to expose something incredible. The election rigging apparatus that is run out of Venezuela. And this has been run by big-time Venezuela software companies that were started in Venezuela, Smartmatic, Dominion, and these companies have been used effectively to rig elections around the world, including American elections. And the person who would know the most about that is Nicolas Maduro. My source tells me that Nicolas Maduro straight up admitted that this is exactly how the elections have been rigged in the West using Venezuelan technology, and he has direct knowledge of it. Is that going to be part of some type of plea agreement? Is this going to be part of some type of sing like a canary situation with the feds? Is this Trump's major revenge for 2020? Along with, of course, understanding the network of left-wing NGOs and billionaires who fund these kind of things, and world leaders, right? The left is sweating.
And they are.
That was good. Well, George, you mentioned about 2020 and 2024 before, and I would just wanted to add to that. If it wasn't for Trump, if it was another type of a candidate, right, would we have had people come out to really vote with the too big to rig type of mentality when Trump kept on pushing that, make it too big to rig? Could anybody else have made it too big to rig? I don't know. I don't think so. Right? I mean, any other candidate is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So thank God, right? God makes things work in mysterious ways. Thank God they stole the presidency from Trump and not say, I don't know, whoever else you want to insert in there. But I think with Trump, he definitely made, he made it too big to rig the first time they stole it, but they stole it. This time, I think he really, with the indictment and everything, I think people just came out in such full force for him that I think it was all God. It was all God's kind of playing with this to expose the fraud.
Yeah, and I think Maduro is. I really think he's turning state's witness. He's got all the receipts for everything, and that they extradited him the way they did so he could save face with the other countries and say, yeah, they came and got me, but actually it was more of a turn in for himself.
That's a fantastic point, the save face part.
That way he saves face. He has his humility, his dignity. He was caught, but he can turn over all the information for leniency, because if I'm correct, when you do treason, basically is a death sentence. So if he wanted to avoid the death sentence and turn everybody in, he could go in that way. They could keep him in witness protection and everything too, because Trump has special people around him. They're not just going to put any old guard, because otherwise they'll Epstein him if he's got that much information. Well,
that's why I said I hope he's not spending time in the Epstein cell, right? Because the camera doesn't work there apparently.
Yeah,
well, the prison that he's in, I was in there. I mean, working there. That thing is so secure, it's unbelievable. They have no windows at all. I mean, this is a secured prison. But one thing that's funny, when he walked in, he wished the guards a Happy New Year.
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah. Did you see that? Yeah, he said, it's Happy New Year to him.
Hey, Happy New Year.
He's the most polite dictator in the world.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Did he look bothered? No.
No, he was.
He looked like he looked like a man with a plan. He didn't. He didn't look nervous or anything. I think that's why I think the way I think on there, because it would be the perfect setup for him. And if they were in negotiations for a while, plus the other point, like George and I were talking about over the weekend, with China already being there. China had their ships and everything outside of Venezuela and everything too. And when Trump went in this way to pick him up, it avoided all confrontation with China before China was able to make a move, with the blockade thing too.
Because the airspace was closed down. They were there Friday.
Yeah.
They were sitting there Friday giving him an award, Maduro, like a little thing like this. Oh, it was an egg roll, I think, or something.
Well, if you think about it, there was a lot of negotiation beforehand, right? That we know, right? They've been trying to negotiate whatever he was going to do. He tried to negotiate stuff, right? So maybe that was part of the plan. Look, I'll come, I'll tell you everything, but I can't just leave here. You got to come get me and make it look like you're capturing me. And they're like, okay, we're doing it. I mean, think about it. They had the blueprint pretty much to his home, right? They went and practiced this over and over. So part of me says, nah, maybe we just went in and got him. And then part of me says, you know what? Maybe he says, hey, here, come get me. Here's everything. And
that's my thinking.
Yeah.
My thinking is come get me, because usually they'd be swapping out residences. Remember Gaddafi? He was going to a different house every night all over the place, so they couldn't find him and everything. And Maduro was caught in bed in his jammies, sleeping with his wife, and all the power, the lights went out in the city he was at. There was no return fire. So we totally.
There was some. I mean, there were, because one of
but not like what you would think you would see.
Yeah, I got it.
So they were either taught to, either their military stood down, or the United States really does have immense power and everything. Because I was asking George, what do you think they would have done? Would it have been radar jamming and EMP to shut all that down? And how would nobody retaliate right away as soon as they saw their systems go down? They would know something huge was going on. And it didn't turn into a spectacle. It was a surgical strike, in and out, and it was done.
It's amazing how the electric goes off, how you shut the electric off.
The thing that they showed what was strange. Let me get back on the thing here, because I was downloading some stuff. The thing that was strange was, the fake. I watched some of the shit news media, and about what they were covering right away. They showed 2 buildings that were hit by missiles that we sent there, supposedly. That's what happened. So,
yeah, what was one building though? Tell them what was one building.
I think it was the supplies where the toilet paper was, or something.
And it was to blow up Hugo Chavez's body. One of the buildings.
that was interesting. They blew up his mausoleum or whatever it was, where his body is. I mean, was that like a?
Yeah, but they didn't say that on the fake news.
No, but that was that was to be demoralizing to them to show who was in charge.
Yeah. Well, the problem was, they said about now that the United States is going in there and take over. We discovered oil for them in 1970 something. I think it was 72, 73. And all the American companies dumped in. The same thing what happened with Saudi Arabia. We went in there, Exxon, everybody discovered the oil for them, and then they said, fuck you, get the fuck out. And we're paying for it. So I think this is bullshit. I think if we discover something, we own it. We couldn't give that up. We shouldn't give up the ones that happened in Saudi Arabia. Look at them pieces of shit. They're all rich and everything else, causing all chaos throughout the world. But what happens is the companies should go back. Chevron, Exxon was there. Remember, Chevron was one of the biggest importers of the oil for Venezuela. They used to say stop buying stuff at Chevron because the oil's coming from them. But still, it was being refined by hand. Their oil was like shit. It was thick. It wasn't refined right, and the equipment that they have. But the people will be very rich in Venezuela. I don't think, they're talking about all the media is coming out with all this bullshit about what Trump's going to run the country. And don't forget,
it'll be Rubio.
No, I was in Venezuela.
Let me tell you about Rubio. Rubio, when Rubio was a senator, what's his name put out a hit on him to kill him.
Little Marco is one up big time in my book. But
he did a great, excellent response. He said, and he was very smart with his words, because what he said, I don't know what happened to him. He must have maybe he had a stroke, like what's his name had. His whole attitude, the difference, change in attitude. The guy is great. I give him kudos, especially the way he responded. I respect him for two things that he said. He said, advance runs, I will not. Which that's very important.
Oh, did he say that? I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, he said that. He said, advance runs, I will not. I don't think they'll be in any position, but I think Rubio will be his VP.
I think so.
It's going to be a big game about that.
What do you want to say, Sean, about Venezuela?
But also Rubio's seen the mistakes of Governor DeSantis, right? And I think he's seen how the MAGA people respond to DeSantis. I think he knows he's doing so well that he's a young guy. He can let one more cycle go, and then he can get in there. So.
Yeah, but I mean, what Trump did to him, I mean, Trump used him. I mean, but what he has learned is an amazing job. The kid's not stupid. He's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is what he learned, and the biggest thing he learned, was to respect President Trump. That was the biggest thing, and most of the people that are on his cabinet, except for a few people, I can say, but have a lot of respect for President Trump, which means a lot.
Yes.
Because the more you have respect for President Trump, the more confidence he has in you. So he put this whole thing. Trump respected Marco so much that he put the whole thing in his lap, and he ran with it. I mean, that is big. I mean, just to see what he did, and what do you call it? Anna Paulina Luna came out with a thing that, when he was Senate, Rubio, what do you call it, was Pandaro put a hit on him to kill him. I got that. I have all that stuff. It's just, I don't know. I got to put the thing up about Jeffrey.
I didn't hear. I that was news to me. What you just said about Marco saying that if Vance runs, he won't.
He did. He actually.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think we need a little more.
No, but it's a great. Let me tell you something. It's just like here in Florida. I'll just give you an example. Right, I'll go for the state, but in Florida, Byron Donalds is running away with the governor about being governor. Okay. There's a guy now that's coming in. Jay Collins is a nice guy, but he's listening to two people which you shouldn't listen to. But that's besides the point, because he's going to throw his hat in, and it's going to be I think it's going to be an embarrassment. Which I think what he should do politically is say, look, Byron, make me your lieutenant governor because you could run twice, because he's going to go back by the White House someplace again, or become a senator. Usually the governor, then the senator, Byron. And then Jay Collins could become governor. But he's listening to people, and what happens is you create a team that nobody could break up. You do a thing like that, and that's why Marco Rubio was very smart about saying that.
Absolutely.
If he runs, which would be a great team, no matter either way. If Marco Rubio runs for president, and what's his name is what he call vice president, like he is now, it'd be fine also. But the whole thing is, the best thing is Vance does become president. Marco Rubio becomes vice president because he'll be a vice president. He'll be a vice president that's really, really involved. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not like Kamala baby that was
best Secretary of State I think we've ever
I haven't
seen.
been to Europe either.
I think Marco Rubio is the best Secretary of State I think we ever seen so far.
yeah,
And it's only a year into it, right? So
yeah, and what who came out of the foot?
Aquí lo espero en Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
A few moments later.
In the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around and he found out. President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people.
I just wanted to play that little montage because it kind of summed everything up.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, I liked it. A few moments later.
Yeah.
They always put some good stuff in there.
The thing, the reaction is people don't realize what they see in the streets in Miami. One of the biggest there. I mean, places where they have, a Venezuelan community, and they went crazy, and they, if you talk to them about how much they suffered, the people suffered in Venezuela, how they were tortured. I mean, people were starting to eat their pets down there. People don't realize that.
They were eating the pets.
Yeah.
Well,
they were eating the dogs.
It's
cats.
I was there. I was going to say earlier, I was there.
You make fun of me. I'm going to come there. We're going to come there. Beat the shit out of you, boy. I'm going to.
Hello, is this thing on? Hello.
Go ahead, Sean.
I was there in 1988. I was 18 years old, and I went there. Beautiful country. I mean, there was poverty there. Don't get me wrong. There was some poverty that was unreal that I saw. But you know, they had the oil industry going then. We stayed at a resort. We went over to one day. We took a trip to Margarita Island, which I've just heard that on one of these things I was watching this weekend is that they're doing a lot of Hamas training on Margarita Island. I don't know if you've heard about that, but there's a lot of terrorist activity going on in Venezuela. So that's a whole nother issue that really people haven't been talking about. You know?
Well, how many things were in there? You had Iran, You had China, you had Russia, you have Cuba. Cuba's. Let me tell you something.
Cuba's shitting their pants.
Cuba's gonna be a life support. Yeah.
Hey, put that video up there. This video, I think, is better than your video. Just to let you know.
Oh, I'm going to have to do sign language.
You got video envy.
Well, no, because this one here shows that he's cursing Trump out. You punk, you coward. You don't want to come to this country.
¡Venga por mí! ¡Aquí lo espero en Miraflores! ¡No se tarde en llegar, cobarde! ¡Venga por mí, cobarde! ¡No se tarde en llegar, cobarde!
No,
yeah, he was meditating.
So how about these protests? We mentioned about these protests before, right? All over the country. I have a video if you want me to put it up.
Yes, we'd like to see it.
I can share it.
I would like you to put up a video because she put up a video. I put up a video. I think you deserve to put up a video, no matter what.
What are you, Oprah? We all get a video.
Yeah,
you get a video. You get a video. You get a video.
But it's a Venezuelan guy who goes and asks these protesters what they're protesting about. It's actually pretty interesting. What's that?
I saw that one. Is this best? Yep.
No more war. Where are you from? Here. Here? And why are you protesting right now? Today? No more wars in Venezuela. No more wars in Venezuela. And you know about the situation in Venezuela? Yes. What do you know about the situation in Venezuela?
The situation. Your situation.
So you want to give me an answer? Because we can talk. I'm not aggressive or anything. I just want to talk, actually. So we have here a group of people that they are protesting because they want no more war in Venezuela. But all these people, there's nobody here from Venezuela. So from all these people, nobody is from Venezuela. This is people from United States. This is people from other places. But there's no people from Venezuela. And actually, I am from Venezuela. Andrés Bermúdez Portillo from Maracaibo, Venezuela. I spent time in jail because of the regime of Nicolás Maduro. We have 25 years with a dictatorship. And right now, because they don't want war. So in the past 5 years of 30 million of people that live in Venezuela, more than 10 million leave the country. So these people is right now protesting because they don't want that we, the Venezuelan people, recover our freedom. So these people don't want that Venezuela be free. These people is just here because they want to attack Donald Trump and they want to use the name of my country and the name of my people to do this without caring about all the people that has died and is suffering right now in a jail in Venezuela because of this regime.
You know, there's a lot of Italian blood in Venezuelan people because they talk with their hands. I'll tell you that.
It's Venezuela. Venezuela.
Listen, there's a photo up about the thing about Jeffries, about the thing I put up about him being the rat, and it's actually treason. And this was done by General Flynn sent me this. Washington, D.C., General, I'll make it short. About national security, DNI, Tulsi Gabbard has received CIA intelligence exposing a Democrat attempting to sabotage U.S. military operations. A brave whistleblower from within the DNI provided documents CBS News showing how Democrats' leadership traced back to scumbag House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who is a Muslim, but wore a cross at a rally because I don't know why. Office tried to tip off Venezuela dictator. So you can read the rest, but the whole thing is what's important is Then the list came out of everybody that's getting hit. Jeffrey's getting money from Venezuela, all these people, especially, you know who got big money from them? The guy that was doing that, what was his name? I forgot the congressman. Oh, shit. Hold on, because I got the list here. The one that was doing back and forth with the guy that got arrested and sent back out of the country, and he was fighting for him.
Oh, that I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Maryland man.
Yeah,
the Maryland man, as they dubbed them, right?
Yeah. But it's interesting that I still say it's a setup that they set up somebody in Jeffrey's office. I do, and I'll stick to that story.
But it still doesn't matter.
No, I know, but as a cover, it's a cover.
It's treasonous. The whole thing is treasonous.
Yeah.
And the problem is, okay, we know you committed this, right? We know you committed this, but the problem is, you don't want to. I think we should do more of this, and
George, you were talking about the guy that went and had the martinis or whatever with the Maryland.
Yeah, right. What was his name? Holland. What was his name?
Yeah, the margaritas. It was margaritas.
Margaritas.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What was his name? Holland.
See, I say margarita. Tracy popped right up. She knew.
Yeah, I know.
No, that don't look good, George.
Every time you take her out,
that'll be a good meme somewhere out the internet.
Yeah, put that picture up there, Betty Grable.
Yeah. Okay, there, Robert De Niro.
Don't call me that. Oh my God. Hey, this is what we need. 2 steps.
Yeah.
To repeat as often as necessary.
Yeah. When's the last time there was an actual public hanging in our country? Had to be over 100 years ago.
All the time in the 1800s with the cowboys and everybody else.
100 years
well,
ago.
Unless you count the KKK, then that would be a little bit more.
Well. Hey, I seen Pat Carr put a link up. I guess I heard our friend Tampon Tim's not going to run for re-election, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Somalis are upset. The Somalis are upset. They're hoping he would run again.
Well, seeing how you brought that up, I'm going to play this because Trump just takes him apart.
One thing we haven't heard you specifically react to is the Minnesota fraud that we've seen play out.
Well, it just doesn't get worse. I've reacted. It's almost not even believable. This very stupid, low IQ governor, he's a very stupid man because, I had a campaign against him with JD. And he's a stupid man. And he's a corrupt politician. And the Somalians are ripping off our country to the tune of, looks like $19 billion, but that's only what they can find. So usually when you look at it 19, that would mean it could be 50. But the numbers are astronomical. Think of it. They have a dead country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. They don't have a military. All they do is run around shooting people and trying to capture ships. We don't let them take ships anymore. You know why? We use the same exact missile on them that we use on the drug carriers. And it's very effective. You notice there's nobody capturing ships anymore? Because as they head out to go capture the ship, and the ship doesn't want to fire back because it's very flammable stuff in many cases. And the insurance companies don't want, because they build $1 billion ship, and they don't want anybody firing rockets into the ship. But we're hitting them so hard, and it's very similar. Same missile system. It's called Deadly Accurate. And do you notice that ships aren't being taken anymore? The pirates are. That's right. I thought about the pirates aren't. Well, no
Somali pirates.
It's actually very easy. They head out. We say, guess what? Yeah, Lindsey Graham, you piece of shit. Let me tell you something. He's right up Trump's ass because he's got to run again.
I am the captain now.
Well, yes, you are.
Yeah, you are a captain. You're the captain of the show. You're
the Somali pirates. I am the captain now.
You notice Iran doesn't steal our ships anymore. Sees our sailors and stuff with the embarrassment.
We should get an AI of Trixie in the I am the captain now skit.
I think this is a pretty good video, this one here, about the banking system, which has a lot of money.
Does it go to what we're talking about?
Yes.
Because George,
this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where Trump is striking at the financial jugular of the British Empire. The main financial weapons of the British Empire have been several-fold. The obvious side is the official side: central banks, their grip on money flows through institutions like the Bank of England, the Bank for International Settlements, the other central banks. But the underside of this is the trillions of dollars of dirty money that are tied to drug trafficking and other illegal activity. The City of London and its dependencies in the Caribbean, like the Cayman Islands, have kept major banks afloat in the world through the protection of the drug trade and its vast financial flows going all the way back to the 1970s. We've never had a successful war on drugs because, quite literally, Wall Street and the City of London didn't want one. When you look at Venezuela, you're looking at a key linchpin in this financial and political nexus. How did it come to play that role? Thank the British. Maduro's predecessor and mentor, Hugo Chavez, modeled himself on guess who? Britain's Tony Blair. Right before his 1998 election to the Venezuelan presidency, Chavez said, "Over the last few years, I've been revising my positions, and I'm very close to the thesis of British Prime Minister Tony Blair when he speaks of the third way." And throughout his rise to power, Chavez was groomed by British diplomats in Venezuela and lauded by the British press. Maduro is carrying on in that tradition. Venezuela isn't just another socialist dictatorship. It's a node in a network.
Now, what you said was very important because number one, a lot of generals that were faithful to Dickhead that came out of Venezuela have not millions, but billions of dollars in offshore accounts. So you know how the whole thing with the banking thing is that what Trump can do has that over their heads to seize their money. Understand? There's not. Yes, very good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the clapping.
I was gonna say, is that a seal going on over there?
Yeah, you heard about the guy that went into the bar, the seal. He said, "Oh, I blew a seal on his car." Anyway, so
where's the trouble?
I don't know where that was going. He was just he's going off somewhere.
It's a Polish joke. Anyway, so
asset seizure from the executive order for the trafficking in drugs and everything. It goes back to that, correct?
Correct. That's why we put very good. You know, sometimes you just flatter me with all your intelligence. It's just like it just put me back in a chair like this. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I think this is not going to end. I just don't. What I'm worried about is the distraction of what's happening in this country. If everything is all tied up the way it's supposed to be tied up with everybody on the take, and they do investigate everything, then it's fine, because they could go to the pool boy guy,
Rico.
Right, and that's how they could crucify all of them because of the money. Yeah,
You missed the new opening, didn't you, Sean, this morning?
Oh yeah, you missed the new opening.
I did. I didn't have the link up until I came in because I didn't want to be on the phone and then you come on. So I was like, I just sat there and waited till I clicked it. But
made me think of that when we talked about Rico. Rico's in the new opening.
Oh, good. I'll have to watch it.
I forgot to put the camera on there.
Speaking of, everybody go hit that like button real quick.
Somebody hit the thumbs down already. So our biggest fan is still in our.
Well,
I know who it isn't. I know who it isn't. It's not a guy named Rico. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Rico loves the show.
Yeah, Rico loves the show.
Hey, everybody remember the saying, right? Don't sit yet. Right? You're like this. And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Trump did that.
Right? When did you get that?
I had those hats made up. Everything Trump said, I made a hat.
Yeah. I sent Mike Schwartz that Lou Dobbs clip after I put it up here on the show.
Yeah, I think I sent you a shorter one of Lou Dobbs over the weekend too. With that Lou Dobbs, I got to tell you something. He was.
I was ashamed. I'll tell you, what a great guy, and he got fucked. Put it that way. I mean, he really got a shafting from Fox.
Yes,
and that's because
of the voting machines.
No, but what?
Because of the voting machines, wasn't
that's
it?
Right.
Yeah, that and going in the tub with Greg Gutfeld all the time.
What about Greg?
No, but
he used to go in the hot tub with Greg Gutfeld all the time.
Yeah, that's what he used to say.
Remember, Greg would always say, "I was in the hot tub with Dobbs."
Oh no, I never. Oh, that's right. Yes, he did say.
Yeah,
that's the reason why he got fired. They claimed it was something else he got fired, but because of BlackRock has the holdings for Fox, $57 billion of their holding of stocks, right? They must have told him, "Yo, you got to fire Dobbs because he's talking about the machines."
Dobbs had a great podcast that he did. That,
He
that he
was
did
great.
when I used to listen to every day. It was a half-hour podcast. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
But that's the reason why they got rid of him. See, people don't see all the. You got to connect the dots here. The dots are really big.
There's a big pattern if you step back and look.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should.
And Sidney Powell was right.
I did. Let me tell you
I like
something.
to see her get vindicated on all this, and Rudy Giuliani and others.
Well,
Absolutely.
what about those two black broads that got the Medal of Freedom that sued?
They should have to pay
$100
Giuliani the money. That's who should have
Ruby,
to pay.
she got the Medal of Freedom. She was, looked like to me she had a big.
Those bitches need
case with
switches.
them.
They need switches.
Well, here's the thing.
They say in the can, bitches take switches.
We helped out Cindy Powell because she had to appear at certain places and she was worried about herself. So we were there.
Did you say Cindy?
Yeah, whatever.
Sydney.
Whatever.
Sydney. Sounds like Sydney. Sydney and Sydney in Brooklyn are the same thing.
She's a tall woman. She's like almost 6
she's very tall. Yeah.
And very nice person, very smart and everything else. And she talked about the whole thing. And then everybody got on a case. Oh yeah, about the cracker. Remember the Kraken that was supposed to come? That octopus that they had in the medieval times?
Yeah, release the Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah.
The problem is she couldn't release the Kraken because she was held back with everybody else.
And now released.
Well, the Republicans they didn't support anything else. So what happened? They just crashed everything. The Republicans were not behind anything about Trump, about the elections, everything. There's only a few of them. It wasn't a lot of what we wished upon that the Republicans would stand out. Or else if the Republicans stood together, they'll fucking not the fucking, but the guys of January 6th that went to fucking jail because of all these accusations that they had, they want to bring it back up again. These guys are suffering.
Yeah, that's because the media pushed that narrative that people were election deniers, right? And it was all conspiracy BS. They were pushing down people's throats, and people were the people they had no balls to say there was a problem with the election.
That's right. Nobody stood up.
Well, that's when the misinformation started. Remember, that's when the whole propaganda shit about misinformation started. It was as soon as they started talking about the election being stolen, and when Sidney Powell came out with how it was done, and Gina Haspel had been in Germany, and the results went there and came back. Everything from that point on was labeled misinformation. And remember, the Pentagon had that department set up for misinformation too, so you knew it was a deep state operation until it got exposed.
I want everybody in the chat, do me a great favor. The J6s came out with a song called Anthem for the Freedom. Download the song because the money's going to them. These guys are in bad shape. We do a lot of fundraisers for them. The money that we get, we make sure they all get the checks. It gets donated to the Grassroots of America because they got the 501c3, and then the money gets distributed right to them because everything is all done, record. We have accountants and everything else, so the money goes directly to them. They are on it. They are all suffering. Just because they got the pardon doesn't mean nothing. They don't have the money. It's just unbelievable what they're going through, and we do these things for that reason. But the whole thing is, none of the Republicans. There were only a few. I could give you a handful of the people over there. A handful. Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. Matt Gaetz was another one. Gossage was another one.
Matthew Cawthorn.
Yeah, Matthew Cawthorn came right to the line in a wheelchair and thanked us all for being there on January 6th. He came rolling all the way from the Capitol. He was in a car because they got to go through the underground tunnel. He got out of the wheelchair, came all the way to us, maybe about a half a mile to come where we are from the Capitol where they had us all framed up. He came over and thanked us for being there.
Lisa Arcott in the chat said, so many attorneys were crushed after a 2020 election. How true was that? They were afraid to take on. I mean, think about that.
They were getting disbarred.
Your constitution, you have constitution for representation and legal counsel, right? That's all part, right? You had lawyers that people would call and they were like, I can't take your case because they had political pressure on them and so how. That's a travesty and a crime.
Then the other
right
thing was there was a lot of lawyers that stole money from these guys because people were donating money to them to fight for the J6. because majority of the times everything was done in Washington, D.C., which all the liberal judges and the liberal jury and everything else, they wanted them to rat on Trump. They wanted to say that how many people, everybody thinks only 3 people got killed. No, it was there were people committing suicide because they didn't want to face the jail time.
You know, it's funny that the local news in Philadelphia that it was Channel 6 or NBC, they just did a story over the weekend about the police that have issues from J6 from being attacked and all.
That's what Jeffrey's bringing that up again.
Yep.
He brought it up again that these guys should be charged again.
Yep. So we should play that song tomorrow, George, since it's J6 tomorrow. That song you're talking about. Maybe we'll play it tomorrow for everybody. How about that? And maybe
I'm gonna see if Barry will come on the show. Barry's very good.
And maybe tomorrow would be a good day for everybody to go download it to send a message on J6. Don't do it today. Do it tomorrow.
I'm going to talk to Barry. Barry's one of the J's. Very, very good guy. I mean, or either him or what's his name? Ken maybe, or I'll get one of the guys. I'll tell them see if they come on the show tomorrow, because it's very important. You know, I know we're running out of time, but all this stuff is all tied together. The Venezuela, the oil, the Democrat, all on the take, and everything else. Everything is all about the money, and they know. And I'm telling you, when I was with Matt Gaetz,
they're a big farmer.
I'll keep on repeating it. He said this guy's getting money from this guy, the lobbyist. So what they did with the lobbyists, they changed about the money. They give families their jobs. They give them $1 million jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but Sean brought up a good point about Big Pharma, though. Big Pharma joined the military-industrial complex and the deep state, and so now they're all into one big cohesive unit, and that's why they're so powerful. Because Big Pharma, with the advertising on TV that they do, the news media gets their laundered money that way from Big Pharma, from the deep state, to keep the narrative going the way they want it.
From the drugs, you got the fentanyl. What do you have to carry if you get hit with the fentanyl? You got to carry that fucking pen.
You remember Fox? Remember the Fox News commercial with Brett Baer, Sean Hannity, a bunch of different Fox personalities about taking the shot? Oh, it's safe. Take the shot. Go get, and that was obviously Fox didn't put that on there because they wanted to be a good deed. They put it on there because they got paid to put it on there.
Yeah. There's a lot of money laundering going on with that. That was to pay to keep the narrative on everything. But you got to be careful with Big Pharma and the military-industrial complex, because when those two are together, nothing very good happens.
Sergeant, you're correct. Right? Okay.
That's bad news when that happens.
I would investigate that list. I'm going to put that list up. I'm going to see if I can get. I'm going to
we got to get that list, George. Yeah, because George, I seen the same list, I believe. And before we say anything about it, we should definitely.
I got it from listen, I wouldn't put it up. I got it from reliable people, but I
saw it too, but I saw one where they said it was true and somebody else said it wasn't. And I was kind of waiting for the indictment thing to come out and see if they list that indictment. But
check it out, because I don't,
I'm sure it came from a reliable source. I've seen quite a few.
Well, the people that we know that are true Republicans and what do you call constitutionalists, they're not on the list.
No, Put
them on, right? The bullshit. If it was a bullshit list,
no.
I'm gonna after we hang up, I'm gonna call Barry, see if he come on the show tomorrow. Because I think,
and we'll play the song tomorrow, and then at that point, maybe that's the day everybody should try to download it tomorrow to send a message. It's January 6th.
Please thumbs up, everybody. It's very important to get our show going here.
Yeah. And if you put the thumbs up, I'll do a seal again. I'll imitate a seal.
Oh, that's worth double thumbs up.
I'm willing to humiliate myself on air to do it.
That's worth thumbs up in the chat also.
Well, thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate everybody being on here. And we're going to see Dan Bongino's going back, most likely back to Rumble. His show is about 11 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going. I don't think he's going today, though, right? I know his
last day. I think
his last day on the FBI was Saturday, right?
Yeah, but I think he's going to be with his family and stuff. But we'll let you know about the show. He's pretty good. He's got the receipts. Let's hope maybe he had a signed paper that said that he can't say what he has to say and all the stuff and everything else. So you really don't know. So we don't know. We don't know. We can't tell you what we don't know. We only can tell you.
We don't know what we don't know.
No, you never know
what we do know.
And what the problem is, there's some people that are full of shit telling other people who don't know shit what the shit is.
No, what was that line you said?
Oh, People who don't know shit are telling other people
about shit
about who don't know shit.
Yeah.
I know one thing though.
There's
no
a lot
matter
of
what the
shit
shit, it always stinks.
Yeah.
Even when I don't know it.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna raid Mike's and
Thanks again, everybody. Thumbs up, please. Thank you very much. And
bye, everybody. Have a great day.
And this is just for Maduro.
Till the whole damn room learns what I said. Protect what's mine, that's a blood-borne vow. Say a word wrong, you'll find out now. I'll burn this bitch down, don't test my flame. You play with hellfire, you say my name. You come for my people, I'll take your crown. I swear to God, I'll burn this bitch down. I'll burn this bitch down, leave nothing behind. Push me too far, I'll lose my mind. You want that smoke, I'll bring that sound. One last chance, before I burn this bitch down.
What country we're thinking about?
Don't